Long ago, in the heart of ancient West Africa, beyond the great forests and golden rivers, there stood a mighty kingdom called Zambala. Zambala was a land blessed by the ancestors. Its markets overflowed with spices, woven cloth, and carved ivory. Farmers harvested yam and millet from rich soil, and every evening, the sound of talking drums echoed through the hills as the people danced beneath the setting sun. And ruling over this great kingdom was a young king named Adeyemi. King Adeyemi was brave, wise, and respected across many lands. Warriors admired his courage, elders honored his wisdom, and maidens from distant kingdoms dreamed of becoming his queen. But there was one problem. King Adeyemi had no wife. As the years passed, royal families from neighboring kingdoms began sending their daughters to the palace. Princesses arrived in long caravans guarded by warriors carrying bronze-tipped spears. Noble maidens came dressed in colorful asuo cloth, coral beads, and gold bracelets that sparkled beneath the African sun. Yet every single time, the king refused. "She is beautiful," he would say quietly, "but my spirit does not know her." The royal elders became worried. One evening, beneath the sacred baobab tree where the matters of the kingdom were discussed, the oldest elder spoke. "My king, a kingdom without a queen is like a river without water. Zambala must have an heir." So the royal council made a decision. A grand festival would be held during the night of the harvest moon. Messengers traveled across forests, deserts, and rivers beating royal drums and proclaiming, "On the night of the harvest moon, the maidens of every land shall dance before the king, and from among them, King Adeyemi shall choose his queen." The news spread across the land like wildfire. For weeks, preparations filled the capital city. Women decorated the palace walls with colorful patterns made from clay and chalk. Hunters brought feathers and antelope horns for the celebration. And drummers practiced day and night until their hands grew sore. Then finally, the night of the harvest moon arrived. Torches lit the royal courtyard. Music thundered through the air. And from every corner of the land, the maidens arrived. Some wore crowns of silver. Some wore necklaces made from cowrie shells gathered from distant shores. Some danced like flowing rivers. Others sang with voices sweeter than morning birds. But among those watching from the far edge of the crowd was a young orphan girl named Amara. Amara was poor. She lived alone in a small clay hut near the forest and survived by weaving baskets and selling fruit in the marketplace. She had no fine clothing, no gold, no royal blood. Most people barely noticed her. But Amara possessed something far greater than beauty. She possessed kindness. Every morning, she shared food with hungry children. Even when she herself had little to eat, she cared for sick elders abandoned by their families. And though life had treated her cruelly, bitterness never found a home in her heart. When Amara heard about the royal dance festival, she laughed softly to herself. "What place does an orphan have among princesses?" she whispered. But then, an old woman sitting beside the marketplace stopped her. The woman's eyes were deep, like ancient rivers. "Child," the old woman said gently, "sometimes the ancestors hide greatness beneath simple clothing." She handed Amara a pair of beautiful beaded bracelets. "Wear these tonight." Amara hesitated. "I cannot enter the palace." But the old woman smiled. "You can," she said softly, "and you must." That night, beneath the glowing harvest moon, the royal dance began. One by one, the maidens danced before King Adeyemi. A princess from the northern lands spun gracefully like wind through tall grass. A noble lady from the east twirled flaming torches beneath the night sky. Another sang so beautifully that even the drummers paused to listen. The people cheered loudly after every performance. But the king remained still. His face was calm. his heart untouched. Then suddenly, whispers spread through the crowd. "Who is that girl?" Amara had entered the courtyard. She wore no crown, no gold, only a simple earth-colored wrapper, and the beaded bracelets shining softly beneath the moonlight. The noble scoffed. "A peasant? She does not belong here." But before the guards could stop her, the drums began to beat once more, and Amara danced, not for riches, not for power, not to impress the king. She danced with freedom, with honesty, with soul. Her feet moved like rain falling upon dry earth after a long season of drought. The entire courtyard fell silent. For the first time that night, King Adeyemi leaned forward upon his throne. As Amara danced, he did not see an orphan. He saw courage. He saw kindness. He saw truth. And for the first time in many years, the king's spirit moved. When the dance ended, silence covered the courtyard. Then slowly, King Adeyemi rose to his feet. The people watched in anticipation as the king descended the palace steps, walking past every jeweled princess, every noble maiden, every royal daughter, until he stood before Amara. The orphan girl lowered her eyes and trembled. "My king," she whispered, but King Adeyemi gently lifted her chin. "All night," he said, "I saw beauty decorated with gold, but in you, I saw beauty decorated with heart." The crowd gasped. The elders exchanged shocked glances. And before the entire kingdom, King Adeyemi declared, "I have found my queen." Some nobles protested angrily. "She has no royal blood. She owns nothing." But the king raised his hand. "A throne built only upon wealth will one day crumble," he proclaimed. "But a kingdom built upon kindness shall stand for generations." The people erupted into cheers. And beneath the glowing harvest moon, King Adeyemi placed the royal coral necklace upon Amara's shoulders. That night, the orphan girl who once walked unnoticed through the marketplace became Queen of Zambala. And unlike many rulers before them, King Adeyemi and Queen Amara ruled with compassion instead of pride. They fed the hungry, protected the weak, and brought peace to kingdoms that once lived in war. Years later, elders would gather children around evening fires and tell them this story: that true greatness is not born from riches or royal blood, but from the goodness carried within the heart. And to this very day, in the old songs of Zambala, people still sing of the king who chose an orphan girl beneath the harvest moon.